Okay, seriously, it's about work experience. What you need to do, you need to be very proactive, okay? You need to be watching programs. The programs you like, look at the credits. Do some background information. If you write to an indie and just say, I really like your programs and give me a job, that ain't going to get seen. If you write and you say, I love your output because of X, Y, and Z, I'm interested in that, that's how you're going to get noticed. A covering letter with your CV, okay? You really need to do your homework because no one's going to give you a job. You need to demonstrate you are on the top of the pile because you have done your research, okay? Thank you.
Slightly frightened a little bit. Crikey. I'm going to go and do my CV now.
Runner. I started at the bottom. I was making cups of tea. I was photocopying. I was driving cars. And that was it for the first 2 or 3 months. And I knew that I had a degree in business studies. I got a good degree. I had a job, but I gave it up for literally low pay, working for Granada Television. And I became indispensable. And as I became indispensable, they gave me little bits of things to do, a little bit more responsibility. And we were talking, Nev and I, you've got to be so proactive. Any problems, you come with solutions. Say, I've thought about this. Should we do X, Y, and Z? But runner is the best job because that then gives you the opportunity to see the editorial side as well as the production side.
I went and did unpaid work experience, having been on thousands and thousands of pounds. I went and worked for nothing to do that work experience. And while I was there at the BBC, being a secretary, which I couldn't really type or anything, but I did it. I then went and worked as a runner on other shows. So once you've got your foot in the door, exactly, you can do the same thing. I went and watched edits. I learnt about, because you can't film anything unless you know how it's edited. So you know, for that type of industry, once you are there, then is your network of people, and you just go there somehow, and you work hard, and you've got to be prepared. However fantastic you think you are, however many degrees you've got, it absolutely doesn't matter. You go, if in our industry at least, maybe not Lucy's because she gave a very interesting answer, but yeah, be prepared to do the stuff at the bottom, and if you're enthusiastic, you will work your way up.
I'm a graphic designer, which means placing type is literally opening up a magazine that someone else has designed, copying and pasting the type, putting it in the magazine. That's all I did. But I learned how they built their files. I talked to the people around me, saw what they were doing, how they did it. So I absorbed all the stuff that they were doing, which is really, really great, because you might think you know how to do something, but you're not going to really learn it until you kind of see how the industry does it.
So currently at this point in time, I would not do anything differently.
I would say the only thing I would change would be it took me maybe 5 years to figure out why being late with work was such a pain for everyone else. So if I went back, the one thing I would do differently would realise that how selfish I was being when I was being late with work, and how important I think in any field meeting deadlines actually is. So it took me a long time to figure that out.
I don't know in terms of like specific things. I mean, if I start thinking too much about mistakes, I shall just cry. If I could go back, I'd be like, you know what? This article can wait. Like you can. We can
exact opposite way.
No, not. I don't mean. But I mean, as an editor, like you've got to hit your deadlines, but at some point you have to go. You know what? It's important for me to go home and see my wife.
In the media industry, you don't need a degree in media.
I just feel like I need to add, if you are going to drop out of something, drop out of university and not college, okay?
If I
see a mass exodus of students after Christmas, I'm coming for you guys, okay?
You do have to be resilient, and I went from short contract to short contract to short contract, never had a permanent job.
We would critique each other. So you're literally having the artwork you've done critiqued by your peers, by your art director. And that made me pretty thick-skinned, but it's still hard. Even now, I feel defensive of my work sometimes when I give a website design to a client and they come back and say, no, that's not what we want. I have to put aside my pride and my feelings of that is what you want. Not what you want, but what you need. And pretend that I know. Well,
And if you stick with it and you learn from your mistakes, you can be the next person.